Hey guys, welcome to another episode of me telling you what is right and what is true. I really hope you enjoy this episode of this podcast that I'm doing. I hope you enjoy this video. Now today we're going to be talking about how you can grow your faith. So we're going to be looking at Mark chapter 9 verse 14 through 28. So says the word of God. And when they came to the disciples, they saw a great crowd around them and scribes arguing with them. And immediately all the crowd, when they saw him, were greatly amazed and ran up to him and greeted him. And he asked them, "What are you arguing about with them?" And someone from the crowd answered him, "Teacher, I brought my son to you, for he has a spirit that makes him mute, and whenever it seizes him, it throws him down, and he foams and grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. So I asked your disciples to cast it out, and they were not able." And he answered them, "O faithless generation, how long am I to be with you? How long am I to bear with you?" So what this passage was saying from the Bible is that the disciples were not able to cast out the evil spirit from the boy who had an evil spirit. And Jesus called them, "O faithless generation, how long am I to be with you?" So this shows that the disciples didn't have enough faith when they were trying to cast out the evil spirit. "Bring him to me." And then they brought the boy to him. And when the spirit saw him, immediately it convulsed the boy, and he fell on the ground and rolled about, foaming at the mouth. And Jesus asked his father, "How long has this been happening to him?" And he said, "From childhood. And it has often cast him into fire and into water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us." And Jesus said to him, "If you can, all things are possible for one who believes." Immediately the father of the child cried out and said, "I believe, help my unbelief." So this part of the story shows us that absolutely anything is possible with God. And after the man immediately said, "Lord, I believe, help my unbelief." If we ask that in prayer, remember, you shall ask and you shall receive. If we ask that in prayer, He will give us faith. And if you're struggling to believe that God exists and have faith that God exists, there's something that a person called Cliff said. He's an amazing Christian. It went a little something like this. I can't remember the whole thing, but it went something like this. He said to a woman, "How would I believe that you have a brain?" And she said, "Because everybody has a brain." And he said, "Well, the real reason I think you have a brain is because your way of speech, the way you dress yourself, your personality, all of this gives me evidence that you have a brain." Same thing with God. The evidence that He exists is His creation. His creation of you and me. His miracles that have been seen by many, many people all show that there is a God that is out there, and He is real. And when Jesus saw that a crowd came running together, He rebuked the unclean spirit, saying to it, "You mute and deaf spirit, I command you, come out of him and never enter him again." And after crying out and convulsing him terribly, it came out, and the boy was like a corpse, so that most of them said, "He is dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he had entered the house, his disciples asked him privately, "Why could we not cast it out. And he said to them, this kind cannot be driven out by anything but prayer. And I just want to look at this part, just this part right here, where it says, with man it is impossible, but not with God. For all things are possible with God. So what this is saying, that for all things are possible with God, for one who believes. For one who believes that God can do great miracles. It moves God's hands when we truly believe that He can do miracles. Thank you all for listening for today's podcast. And I thank you all for subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out and motivates me to do what I do. Thank you.